Hello, I am Ronel LeFranc. I am from Haiti. I am a senior student in agronomy with a concentration on natural resources and environment. I am a scholar of an organization called HELP, which is an acronym for Haitian Education and Leadership Program. It is an organization which provides need-based and merit-based scholarship to the top high school graduated for universities in Haiti. Last year, after the earthquake that hit Haiti, I was selected by this organization to attend Dartmouth College for a couple terms until the rebuilding of my university. And during my time at Dartmouth, I took some environmental classes during which we did a lot of discussion about sustainable development and environmental issues. And during one of them called ecological agriculture, we did a lot of discussion about conventional and organic farming, which was very interesting for me. And during this time also, my host family took me to many operation sites in Vermont because they knew that I was very interested in learning about new methods and techniques that can be useful for the environment. And among these sites, Cedar Circle Farm was one of them. And during my trip to Cedar Circle, I met Will Allen, who is the manager of the farm, and he was very delighted to meet me. I think because I am from Haiti, which is a country with a lot of environmental and agricultural issues. And he was very eager to have me back for an internship. And this summer, I am doing this internship at this farm. I think I really enjoy my time here because internship is very important for my future career and projects because not only it allows me to materialize a lot of theories that I've been studying for a long time in my agricultural classes like soil preparation, making and using compost, a lot of plant diseases, and also I get a lot of new experience in not only vegetables production but only flower production from soil preparation to harvesting, storage, and marketing. Tomatoes, it's one of the activities we do almost every morning. Tom and me, we've been doing a lot of work with tomatoes. Every morning we pick and then sometimes we prune them, twine them so that we can get track of them very well. And one of the things we do is that we water them with a fish solution, which is a very rich solution with trace element essential of the plant. And a lot of people are saying that this year they get very well with the tomatoes. But it can be a very good production for us in Haiti. You know, the climate, tomato is like hot climate, and we do have that. A lot of people think that it's a perishable food crop because it's perishable. They cannot transport that from the mountain or countryside where they grow it to the cities to sell them. Yeah, now I'm picking onion and just pull them from the ground, then make some pile with them, then we move them to the greenhouse over there so that they can dry it out, and then we can use them. Definitely, I think Haiti needs this organic farming because you know we don't really have large scale agriculture, and with the situation of our lands, which has been degraded by erosion and some other environmental issues, I think organic farming is a good option for us now. And by using these techniques, I think it could be good. Not only we will produce for our self reliance, and we will promote the environmental sustainability by protecting the environment and prevent the releasing of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. And every Wednesday also I do some work with Kat, who is the education coordinator. And most of the time we do some field trip to the community gardens and her school teaching gardens that she's coordinating. those trips are very important in terms of education, because I think what she's doing about education is trying to raise public awareness about the agriculture and food production problems, which is very interesting.
This garden is a buzz, literally a buzz with activity right now. If you just watch any one place for a few minutes, you'll see hundreds of insects of all kinds of sizes flying around. Those are all really important friends to have on the farm. All these surfeit flies, they're pretty amazing, and this really helps a lot. Insects can fly for quite a ways, a mile or two, many of them, sometimes more than that. And so by having this here in the center of our 40 acres is pretty critical. It's not the only beneficial gardens that we have, but this is one that I use for teaching. Another teaching garden I have, which is for vegetables. So we teach people how to grow lots of food in small spaces. In my gardens, we don't use machinery. We just use people and tools. And that's part of how I like to garden. I also feel like that's way more accessible to the average person. Most people don't have big tractors and can't have 45-inch spacings on the rows and all of that. So I really try to keep it very hands-on and very practical for our learners. Teaching people how to grow food is key in trying to give people better access to food, but not everybody has land to grow a garden on. So additionally, we also have a 1-acre plot up the road, which you're very familiar with, the Willing Hands Garden. And in there, we grow very fresh foods that don't usually end up at the food shelf. So things like tomatoes that we can harvest that day, corn that's harvested that day, lettuce that doesn't have a single nick or rust spot on it, and get that to the food shelf on the day that it's harvested. And so that in and of itself is really helping us to meet our mission, but we're also trying to develop a model there that other farms can replicate. We can let them know how much time and energy and money had to go into the garden and what our yields were. So if we can get more farmers to grow a small piece of their land in fresh crops for people that need it, that's going to help to increase access to good food. We also have a CSA program here at the farm. CSA is community supported agriculture, where you give a lump sum of money in the spring to buy a subscription to fresh food, and then you come to the farm for 20 weeks and you pick up a basket of what's in season. There is a cost barrier associated with it because you have to have $500 at one time in the spring in order to be a part of this program, which is a very difficult thing for people to do. Okay. So we are part of a program that is called Farm Share, in which we raise money from our clientele that can afford it to give a little bit of extra money, and in the end, people can apply for the program that are income eligible, and they can get a CSA share for half the cost of what it would normally cost. So that is another way that we try to make food more accessible.
I think that is a great program. But what if you lose your harvest and people has already paid for that?
That is a risk that everybody takes. So that is part of the understanding when people sign up for a CSA. Yeah. We hope that they've read all of the information so that they can understand that you're sharing in the risk, which means that it could be an amazing year, very bountiful, or it could be a year that's not so amazing and is not so bountiful. But it's worth pointing out that a farm like ours really tries to diversify. We don't like to put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. So even if our tomato crop gets wiped out, which it was in 2009, we lost our entire tomato crop, we still are able to succeed as a farm, and we're still able to feed people. It's just tomatoes that we weren't able to feed that year. So trying to diversify into many different types of vegetables that are all in many different types of families, and then within those vegetables also try to choose different varieties of the same vegetable so that they're timed differently, they're resistant to different bugs or diseases, and that way we can sort of hedge our bet and ensure that we'll get something, maybe not everything, but something every year. So that I think is really good advice for all farmers. Most farmers know, I think, that diversity is key in ensuring success with your crops. And composting is another thing we teach. We teach about backyard composting here because, again, we're right back to soil building. If we can teach people how to build healthy soil and teach them how to grow food, everybody's better off.
Yeah, that is one of our limits in Haiti because we don't really have a great knowledge about compost. And it's very good for me to know about it.
I'm excited for you to bring that back.
Yeah, definitely.
I get very excited about compost.
Yeah, this morning we are in the Wedding Hands Garden, and one of my farmer jobs this summer, adding to my works at the farm, was to assist Tom in the management and maintenance of this garden. And I feel glad to do it because I really appreciate the idea behind Wedding Hands, which is to assist needy people by providing them with fresh food. And also, by working here, I feel like that not only I give my contribution to this organization, which is a humanitarian organization, but also I gain some new skills in farming, which is of great importance for my formation. Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about the group of people that hired us this morning.
Yeah, okay. So these are volunteers for the Willing Hands Project, and they come in from around the area and donate 2 hours twice a week to help plant or weed or harvest, which we're doing now because it's towards the end of the season. We're getting a lot of harvesting in. And this garden is 1 acre in size, and we've been working on it since I'd say April. We started seeding stuff in the greenhouses, which then we can plant once they're a certain size. We'll transplant them in the field, and so that's how we get a lot of these crops. We also get a lot of them from the farm itself. They end up they do a lot of transplanting, so they'll seed a lot of the vegetables in the greenhouses, but they'll seed extra because they want to make sure they get germination and they have enough for their farm. And so there's a lot that's extra after that that ends up in the compost, and that's true with a lot of farms. So this farm, Cedar Circle, is using their extras and putting them in this garden, and we grow it, and it goes to the food banks.
And one thing I would like to ask you, Tom, is that what is your degree of satisfaction about this garden as you've been applying all the organic farming techniques to operate it?
Well, yeah, we're doing great. There's been no chemical sprayed on it whatsoever. The harvests are really fantastic. What we're doing though is, things like rotating crops, which is really important. Weed control, a lot of that, and that way they'll have a chance to grow. They won't compete with the weeds or water. We make sure we do use. Sometimes we'll put fish oil on it and stuff like that. It's a natural fertilizer that helps things along, but we won't use anything that's toxic or non-organic, really. And it's still, you get good yields, and it's doing great.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
And the farm's one of their main missions is an educational center. So they'll take an intern who wants to learn farming and is an aspiring farmer and give him this acre. And so it's up to him. There's guidance, and you get him going, but he's got to learn because the intern, he or she, will work at the farm.
Right.
And then apply all the things they learned at the farm down here at this 1 acre garden plot. And so they'll get a real hands-on feel for what it's like to farm. And they do all the vegetables, almost entirely all the vegetables that are done at the farm are done here. So you'll get experience growing them all. And you'll learn, you'll learn how to plant them, what to look for when they start getting bug pressure or disease pressure. You got to learn all that, and then you have to learn how to harvest it, and then cover crop at the end and start for next year. So it's a really good program for an intern.
That's really good.
Yeah.